Peace and blessings, family. If you have no credit, bad credit, horrible credit, if you're in debt consolidation, if you're looking to repair your credit, I'm going to show you step by step how to do it yourself. What is the best way for you to repair your credit? It's easy. It's for you to repair your credit. Let's get to it.
The Bible teaches in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7, the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. I'm your brother in the struggle for peace, truth, freedom, justice, and equality, Brother Minister Alifullah. Today, family, I want to share with y'all some actual data that we just got in today dealing with one of my clients. And when I thought about it, I was like, man, I need to make a little video about this so that people could better understand this process. I'm going to give you a little backdrop story. All right. Basically, this particular person built that credit score up. All right. I did it for him like 3 years ago. They was doing good. Last time I seen them, they had that nonprofit. They had a LLC. They had the $10,000 Spark card, the $10,000 Savior card, the $10,000 Ink card. They was good. You know what I mean? And that was that. They're in another city, so I really wasn't in tune with them or in touch with them personally on a day-to-day type basis. You know, every now and then I would see them on social media, like on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And they just like, you know, like partying. I mean, like, I'm like, damn, they got a nice car. They had the truck, in fact. Like that, they got a new truck. Now, I mean, you know, then they like styling and profiling, you know, doing that thing. And, you know, and then I ain't see them for a minute. Then I finally get an email and I'm like, yo, okay. So I click on the jaw, like, look, Brother Brown, I need to get with you. Boo, 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 man. Long story short, I holler at him. All that money was upside down. I mean, you know, they went from not worrying about bills to having nothing but bills, all right? I'm not going to get that personal name or give that personal information. So I'm just speaking in general for me and you so that all of us can understand this. All right, let's say, hypothetically speaking, using the principles of thought, all right? You got a situation where you got about 10 credit cards. And for whatever reason, this is America. It's a capitalist system. Most people go in debt with credit cards because they're not really looking at credit cards like their loans. They looking at credit cards like their cash on hand or something. Like when you buy something with the credit card, you don't have to pay for it or something. You know, they look at it like it's free. Like, oh, I'm going to go shopping. And they go in the clothing store, go to the Nike store or whatever. And they just, you know, get a little carried away because it's a credit card. Where if it was that actual hard-earned cash from that job, they would be a little more slower, you know. But this particular person had about 10 credit cards. I'm just generalizing. Last time I seen them, their business had what was called a paydex score of about 90. 80 is good credit, so the business was doing excellent. Their personal credit score was like a 760. They had good personal credit. Know what I mean? They had a ton of credit cards, department store cards. They was paying low interest on the cards. They had a nice house mortgage. They had a car note, nice car. Now, I mean, I'm not sure how much they was paying for the mortgage in the car, but I know they was using, you know, like they was borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, but they was juggling it. everything was cool because they was bringing in new income. Know what I mean? So I was happy and proud of them, and I really didn't think much more about it. But somewhere along the way, they got a little reckless and careless with their spending habits, and like many of us do, they messed that money up. All right. So when they messed the money up, they didn't tell me that part. They told me all the good side. They didn't tell me the bad side. So I didn't know, I could have definitely stepped in and prevented a lot of major headaches if I would have caught it early. Because at that time, they still had that over 700 credit score. So the time they called me is like when they down to the bare pits. Like, I mean, they're in the pit of hell now. They was in heaven, now they in hell, right here on earth. So I'm like, okay, let me look at this. I was like, email me this, that, and the other, so I could just analyze, deputize, and scrutinize what happened, what's going on, where you at, whatever. And when I looked at everything, I'm like, okay. They was at a 760 credit score. They went down to like a 460 credit score. So they had poor credit because they wasn't paying their bills. So I was curious about that. So I was like, yo, pull your credit report. Now, I mean, send me a copy of your credit report. You get your one free full credit report every year. Now, I mean, pull that whole credit report so we can analyze that. And they didn't mention to me that they had got with a debt consolidation company. One of the richest, successful debt consolidation companies in America. Not going to get into the business now. I don't want YouTube flagging the channel, wanting to take down my videos and all that crap. Since it's like you're in school, you could get suspended for certain stuff. All right, so the company basically told them they was going to consolidate their debt. So they was paying on all their credit cards. They was paying. I'm just guesstimating about this because I'm not really too sure the exact amount, but it was roughly. I know it was over 1,000. I would say anywhere. They was paying about, say, $1,200 to $1,500 a month on their credit cards. That's all the credit card bills. Like this one, they may give $300. This one, they give them $90. This one, $180. This one, $250. This one, and all together, they giving about $1,200 a month. So the debt consolidation people basically came and was like, look, we can repair your credit, fix this, woo, bang. It was music to their ears. They at that wit's end with debt. And they tell them, all right, well, look, fill out this paperwork, boo, boo, bang. All right, look, everything's approved. You give us $144 every 2 weeks, and we'll take and make all your problems go away. Whoa, this is like magic. Like wow. I was paying $1,200 to $1,500 a month in credit card debt and only got to pay $144 every 2 weeks. What is that? $140. That's $288 a month. Whew. Thank you, Jesus. All praise is due to Allah, to the Most High. They was happy. You know what I mean? And their 700 and something credit score went down to like 460, 470, somewhere around there. So I'm like, no, you did this wrong, fam. No. Now, I mean, so I come in, we meet up, we get all the paperwork together. I take my little dollar store notebook and write down a bunch of notes and stuff like that, ask a bunch of questions, analyzing it, like looking at the good and the bad. Some stuff was cool, some stuff wasn't. Now, I mean, just every situation is unique unto itself, but it was like, okay, I think I see what the problem here is. Know what I mean? And what basically happened was the debt consolidation company was taking that $144 and holding it, like putting it in an escrow account. They get the money and they just sit on it. All right. Now, they getting, say, about I'm gonna round it off. Say they getting $300 a month. They take the $300 the first month, and they don't do nothing. They take the $300 the second month, they still don't do nothing. They take the $300 the third month, they still don't do nothing. Now, the client had the Credit Karma app on the phone. And Credit Karma is like, yo, your score just fell 63 points this morning. I mean, next month, they're like, yo, your score just fell another 50 points. You just fell 40, you just fell 14 more points. You know what I mean? So that score that was up here now is tanking down here. So they finally get with me. When I peep it, I'm like, oh, I see what's going on here. You know what I mean? You was looking at it like, you're not having to pay that $1,200, $1,500 a month. You're now only paying $300 a month. When you go look at your bank statement, you look at your checking account, you got an extra $900 in that account. And it was like, yeah, bro, man, I used to go to the bank and be happy. Like, I put my debit card in there to grab like $100, and I look at my, whoa, I got an extra stack up in there. I got an extra $1,000 this month. Know what I mean? Next month, I got another extra 1,000. 3 months later, I got 3,000. So they happy. And I get it. Know what I mean? You know, I get it. Know what I mean? You know, it's like a temporary rush. Know what I mean? But the debt consolidation company is still collecting that $300 a month. So say it's four months, let's say take 3 months. Say it's 3 months later, say they got $900. Now they got $900. They call up one of the 10 credit card companies, the lowest one, be like, yo, listen, this client owes you this, that, yo, they in debt consolidation. Y'all could get nothing. The client is not going to pay none of these credit card bills. You could put it on a credit card report. The score could drop. So what? At the end of the day, the situation for the credit card company going to be, all right, they owe us $3,000. We could get nothing, sue them. And when they sue you, you're not really going to a real court. You're going to what's a magistrate court. When you go to the magistrate court, there's no stenographer. You don't get sworn in because technically it's really not a real court. It's not a real judge, but it's an arbitration type judge, meaning that the person that owed the money and the people who the money is owed to, y'all agreeing to let this fair judge come in and arbitrate the situation. And on that side, at the end of the day, big companies, credit card companies, what they're trying to do is simply like, listen, we got to take you to arbitration court because we need on official record that you're not paying us. And once we get that judgment from the magistrate, like, yo, you owe this money, you supposed to pay him, you ain't paying or whatever, they can now get that $3,000 from the insurance company. They can write it off. It's all kind of the credit card company gonna always get that money. They not stupid. They're way smarter than us. I mean, when it come to that money game, they got that paper game on smash. Know what I mean? So they gonna get their money like that, or they can take and let this debt consolidation company come in and say, listen, you want to go through that and get nothing from them and write it off, or do you want to get something? Smart businesses like credit card companies, they're like, we rather get something. They owe us $3,000. We'll put them on a payment plan. But the debt consolidation company ain't gonna tell them that, and they don't know that. They letting the debt consolidation people handle everything. So the debt consolidation company is like, we not paying y'all nothing. I mean, and hang the phone up on them. They like, oh, that's how y'all playing? Cool. They put it on the report. That person's score is dropping like a mug. You know what I mean? It's rolling down the hill. But then the debt consolidation people know after 3 to 6 months of doing this, they ready now. So now when they call them back, they on the tip like, listen, this is what we're willing to do. The client owes us $870. They give us a one-time lump payment of say $400. They can pay us $280 a month until they pay this off. And the debt consolidation people be like, ain't nothing happening. Boom, get out of here. I mean, they gone. That's another 30-day billing cycle that went by. I mean, they come back. Now they like, listen, we're willing to negotiate something. We got with the client. The client don't have a bunch of money. They in debt consolidation. They only putting in $144 every 2 weeks, but they got to pay all these other creditors. What we're willing to do is compromise. And if you lower the debt, we'll give you a cut of this $144 every 2 weeks. So now they like, something's better than nothing. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. And this happened this morning with this client. They actually was on the tip like, we're going to work with the client, know what I mean? But it has to be through the debt consolidation company. So the way they did it, they was like, we got that $3,000 debt dropped down to only $1,000. And we're going to pay them $25 a month. So I'm like, $25 a month. They owe $3,000. Let's look at this. All right. I'm just using this hypothetically. Now, the original debt would say like $30,000. So the client don't care. They like, I'm only paying $144 every 2 weeks. It's like they debt free in that book. They don't realize that score tanked. It's like 400 or something. Know what I mean? When they download for free the Credit Karma app, they look at that. It's like, yo, and it shows you can boost your score by like over 21 points easy. Know what I mean? But the way they doing it is what's messing everything up. All right, so it's $30,000 in debt. They paying $144 every 2 weeks. That's $288 a month. All right. They're so-called settling this accounts. So the debt consolidation company, over 6 to 9 months, they may knock off 3 of those creditors. So now they only got like 7 credit card debts that they got, no longer 10. All right. So I asked the people, I was like, let me ask you something. This program this client is in, how long do your program last? They like, usually about 4 years. So I'm saying to myself, 4 years? Oh, nah. I mean, y'all tripping. I mean, why would it take 4 years to repair your credit? Think about that for a minute. 4 years? Nah. I mean, so if you're giving $25 on a $30,000 debt, credit card debt, it's going to take you 60 months or 5 years to pay that debt off. You would have to wait 5 years for these professional debt consolidation people to pay off that debt for you. All right. Now, they broke it down. They negotiated it down from the $3,000 to $1,000. All right. So say they was giving the $25 a month for the $1,000. Now we're talking 20 months or 1.8 years, or 1 year and 8 months to fix that credit. All right. If you was doing it yourself and say you gave them $100 a month, you would fix your credit in 10 months. So on average, it should take 9 months to a year to fix your credit. To get you back on your feet, it should not take more than a year. You know what I mean? But the way people are doing this through debt consolidation companies, these companies, it's in their interest to drag it out. It's like people be like, stocks, the stock markets, mutual funds, whatever. The broker makes their money in a bull or bear market. See, if you're buying stock, they make money because they made the transaction. If you're selling stock, they still make their money because they're doing the transaction. If you're making money, they're making money. If you're losing money, they still making money. So they don't care what kind of market it is. They don't care if the interest rate, the feds, none of that makes no difference to them whatsoever. They just want their commission. Their thing is like, yo, whatever this joker do, they gonna have to pay us, okay? It's a similar situation when it comes to so-called consolidated debt relief, all right? If they could drag it out for 4 years, see, when the client gives them $144 every 2 weeks or $288 a month, they take a cut of that money and keep it. That's their service fee. That's their operating fee. That's their commission. All right. So if you pay off your debt, say for example, a relative gave you some money or you hit the lottery or something and you paid off your debt, they lose their money. They be like, oh, they ain't sending no more $144 to us. We ain't getting no more 288 checks. If we could get $288 a month from 1 million customers, you know what I mean? They like, yo, we bringing in $288 million a year. You know what I mean? $288 million a month. You know what I mean? So it's in their best interest to drag it out. So even though they couldn't repair that credit in a year or two, they gonna drag it out, make it 3, 4, 5 years. See? So my advice, especially to the Fruit of Islam and the Muslim Girls in Training, to the 5% of the Holy Nation of Islam is this. The message said, get business minded. All right? If you're in that situation, it's what I want you to do. Step number 1. Get your bank statement and see when they take that money off. This particular client, I seen the bank statement, and they take the money off like the first week and the 3rd week of the month. It'd be different days, but it'd be like the 8th of say the 8th of October and the 28th of October, the 22nd of November, and they took it off the 6th of November. All right, so on average, they taking it like in the beginning of the month and near the end of the month, they taking that money off. That's $144. You want to stop that payment. So you want to get with the debt consolidation company, call them up and let them know, listen, I want to opt out of this program. Now, in their terms and conditions, they have a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but they basically tell you like, all right, you can do that anytime. However, you can't use our name. You can't use our stratagems, our mythologies, our logos, or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's fair. Cool. You just trying to stop the bleed. Your thing is like, listen, I just want to get out the program. That's your last check that y'all going to receive. If you have any money that they was holding in savings, that's your money. They got to get that back because that's the money they was holding allegedly to pay off your creditors. But if they're not paying off those credits, they got to send that money back to your bank account. All right. I wouldn't really sweat all that because some companies gonna be like, you out. You know what I mean? It's like hip hop. It's like the mob. You know what I mean? It's like the mob. They like, nah, you go out with nothing. You know what I mean? So you got to understand This is all in it. This is the world we live in. This is how the game goes. You can't hate the player, but you can hate the game. Now, I mean, but the thing is, you got to make your own rules. You got to take and set up your own game, your own strategy. So you cut them jokers off. Like, I'm done with that. You make sure you get with your bank and stop that link. You do not want that money automatically going to them without you knowing next week, next month, next year, whatever, because they'll leave it open and your money just be going out your account every 2 weeks or every month. Now, I mean, so you cut all that off. You call the credit card companies yourself. I cannot emphasize this part enough, fam. It's not just credit card. It's a lot of spooky boogeymen out there. That's not boogeymen. They not spooky. It's nothing spooky, family. Everything is real. All right. I just seen so many people ignore the IRS. Like you got famous people that got millions and billions of dollars that they didn't pay taxes and they just ignored the IRS. It's like, yo, don't ignore your debt. Like if the IRS say you owe whatever, you personally could literally, I'm telling you, you can call, you wouldn't even need me to do it. You can call the IRS and tell them, look, I owe you this. I ain't got it. I mean, the IRS going to be on the tip like, all right, what you got? Be like, right now, all these bills, all I can afford is in my savings account, I got this, that, and the other. And they'll hook up a payment plan with you that's real low. I'm just using this hypothetically from, this was years ago, but an actual sister that I knew, she owed like, I think it was like 30,000. This was like 8 years ago. She owed like 30,000 to the IRS. Things got so bad, they like froze the bank account. Now I mean, garnished wages, all that. They coming for that money. I find out right there. Get on phone. They be like, all right. They ask her, you putting Nalif on the phone, is you giving him permission to speak with us? It's like, yeah, talk to him. I don't understand. I broke it down to them. They like, cool. This is what we'll do. She give us $180, and we're going to send a form. And they sent the form. Basically, it was like assets and liability. Just two pages. Real simple, real short. They just want to know, how much money do you make? How much you got in this to save? Any bank accounts? What's the account number, the route numbers? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And they look at that and they be like, all right, what's your liability? How many bills you got? What do you? So we writing all the bills out. I mean, I'm toothpaste. Like you go to Walmart, Bounty, we got to spend this amount on cosmetics, this amount on electric, this amount on the mortgage or the rent, this on car notes, this on hair, nails, whatever. You know what I mean? And they analyze it and say, after everything, you know, they be like, okay, everything that you need, we going to ignore. All the stuff you don't need, like you got subscriptions to these fashion magazines and you're spending $30 a year on that, you really don't need no magazines. I mean, you paying for this, but other things like they be like, we ain't gonna turn the cable off. I mean, you don't have to drink instant coffee. You can still go to Starbucks. Now, I mean, you can still go shopping and eat your food. You can still get some sneaks and shoes, whatever. You still get your hair, nails done. But they basically like give us like $180 and then give us $80 a month till you pay it off. And that was that with that client. But about, I would say like 2 years later, she gave me a call. She told me like, I had got a tax refund for whatever amount it was, a couple of thousand. And the IRS took it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's you keep in mind you're in the payment joint with them. They're not gonna let you collect your tax refund and they gave you a break on that big check, and you still owe them, and you only paying $80 a month, they gonna take that big check and put that towards your debt. And when they did that, it basically paid off the debt. So the preceding years, whenever she got a tax refund, really you shouldn't get a tax refund. You should be paying your taxes properly. But if the government owe you something, that means you misappropriated your money. You could have had that money in the stock market or something. You could have invested that little bit of money. But that's another story. But she wound up start getting her tax refunds, and now she back on track. She doing her thing. Now, I mean, this particular client is similar, but it's different, unique in its own sense, in the sense of we're dealing with debt consolidation for credit cards, but it's real similar. You can take and be like, I got 10, I got 3, I got 5, I got 10, I got 20 credit cards. They calling me. Billy's calling. Bill collectors. I mean, don't answer that. I mean, they sending letters all to the crib, sending you emails and texts. Yo, you owe us. Where that money? Run that in. I mean, stressing you can't even sleep at night. All you got to do, family, is sit down, get a blank sheet of paper, get you an ink pen, and write down all of your debts, all of the credit cards that you owe. In fact, I'm gonna tell you an actual formula that we actually do, because I personally don't write down the stuff for my clients. What I do is I take them in the office, have them take all their credit cards out. All right, and I'll put them, line them up, two in a row on the copy machine. I got a laser printed out. Now I'll put them up, all the fronts of them, and I'll make a copy of that. Put the other ones on there. Those same cards that I just did the fronts of, you turn them over next to each other, and you copy the backs of them. And you do all the cards like that. Now you got like 4, 6, depending on how many cards they got, but you got the front and back of all the credit cards. So you'd be like, okay, this is MasterCard number such and such. The security pin number in the back, 3-digit code. This is the Visa. This is the American Express. This is your Discover card, whatever. You know what I mean? Business cards, personal cards, whatever. Now you call each one of those cards and you negotiate with them. Be firm. You be like, listen, my credit score is already messed up. So to me, I don't care. Like, what's the difference if I got 600 credit score or 400 credit score? You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything with that score anyway. You know what I mean? But you be straight up and like, look, this is what I could do. I owe you, I'm just hypothetically speaking, I owe you $1,000. I don't have it. You know what I mean? What can we do? They'd be like, all right, you owe us a stack. Tell you what we could do. You give us $400 today. We'll take that whole thing off your credit report. You'll be free and clear of that debt. That $1,000, you don't have to worry about no more of that. Know what I mean? You don't owe us nothing. Know what I mean? They tell you 400, you be like, I can't do 4. I could do 200. Let me talk to my supervisor. The best we could do is 300. Run that in. You give them 300, that card is completely off. Your score is healing now. It's stopping the bleeding. Know what I mean? You call the next card. They be on the tip like, look, you owe us $3,000. Know what I mean? You know, you be like, well, look, I haven't paid this credit card bill in the past 5 months. My credit score now is a 510. I have no intention to ever pay this credit card bill. However, my friend told me that I should call y'all and try to work out some kind of payment plan, even though I don't have the $3,000. They'll take, like in this situation, they'll take that $3,000 debt and say, all right, we tell you what we're going to do. We'll drop it down to $1,000 and you send us $40 a month until you pay off the $1,000. You check them out. Okay, I could agree to that. You highlight that when you're gonna pay $40 a month till you pay off that $1,000. And you do that with every last one of those cards. You ain't got to do it all in one day. You may call 3 cards today, 2 cards tomorrow, 5 cards on Friday. Know what I mean? But you get it done. Some of them may be like, get out of here. We want our money. You're getting sued. You're going to arbitrate. They're going to threaten you, scare you. But the longer they see like, oh, it's been 8 months. She ain't sent a penny. She used to pay every month on time. I mean, I seen the Credit Karma app. It's like this year, perfect payments. Next year, perfect payment, perfect payment, perfect. Like for years, never missed a single payment. But things happen and family emergencies come up. COVID hit. You might get sick. You might get injured on the job. Whatever. You get outsourced. I mean, whatever. Now, you can't pay them credit card bills. You borrow from Peter to pay Paul, and you wind up in that situation. Don't look down on yourself. Things happen. Real things happen in the real world. Know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. Know what I mean? However, you could take and simply call them, and they will agree to renegotiate that debt. Like they'd be like, okay, you owe $3,000. We're going to reduce it by $2,000. So you only owe us $1,000 and you give us $40 a month. Cool, you agree to that. But what you do, because remember, you was paying $1,200 to $1,500 every month. You're not paying none of these credit cards, nothing. So that $1,200, $1,500 that you was paying is staying in your checking account area. You got an extra $1,000 on hand now. You take and say, okay, I negotiated on my own, and I got every month when I get my paycheck, I'm keeping $1,200, $1,500 extra dollars inside my checking account after I pay my mortgage, after I pay the rent or the car note or the electric, the phone bill, the Wi-Fi, the food bill, whatever. There's bills everywhere. This is America. But since you have that extra $1,000 every single month, now you're in a position to clear your debt faster. You're like, okay, first of all, because I didn't pay, my score dropped. That was the negative. But the positive is each one of these credit card companies is writing me letters wanting to negotiate because they're going to be in a situation where they're going to have to sell it to another company on pennies on the dollar. So that thing is like, we could make more money. We'll get more out of the client that gives us $40 a month than we would selling this to a debt collecting type agency. I mean, they come in like, we took over this debt. This is like, yo, show me the original signature. I don't even know y'all. I didn't agree to no terms with this. I don't get out. Throw that in the trash. Ignore them. Like y'all, this third party stuff. Y'all hopping all over. That's what Lexus does with Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. They're third parties. They like, yo, back up. Why is you all up in my business? I don't know y'all. I mean, so you can use credit freezes. It's a science to it. You got to get with me. I can help you through it. Don't even worry about it. Know what I mean? But the simple part is you take and call them up, negotiate an affordable payment plan. And if they say, okay, you owe us $1,000, give us $40 a month, cool. You send them $40. Next month, you send them. But say the third month, you just happen to have a little savings. Are you in a situation like, since I ain't paying none of these other cards, that money is staying in my account where it shouldn't be, because they could freeze that account and come get that. But say you got the money on a debit card, on a Chime card, in a safe, whatever. Know what I mean? Somebody else's account, whatever. Know what I mean? But hypothetically speaking, you take and say, okay, they want $40 a month. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give them $200 a month. Meaning I'm going to pay this debt off. I mean, it's going to take me less than half a year. So that's the position you yourself can do that's faster and better overall for your situation than having a debt consolidation company tell you send them your money, even though it's a smaller amount, and they take that money and they negotiate with the credit card companies for you. Are you thinking you have to get somebody to fix your credit? No, it's follow these steps that I'm telling you, and that's how the game operates, family. And with that, I leave you in peace. Send your questions, comments, and suggestions on debt to Brother Minister Alif at ministeralif@gmail.com. For now, the struggle continues. It gets greater later. Peace.
Surah 2, Ayat 282 of the Holy Quran teaches the believers, when you deal with each other in transactions involving future obligations in a fixed period of time, reduce them to writing. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 19 of the Bible teaches us, a feast is made for laughter, and wine makes merry, but money answers all things.